What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another preview here on the Cup Chasers podcast. That's right, it is the Arsenal headed to Portugal for the Champions League quarterfinal. And it's going to be a tough one, a very, very tough one. The Arsenal need to bounce back desperately from these last two results. Going out of both domestic cups is absolutely brutal. And we are in need of a massive, massive, massive response. So go ahead and smash up the likes in hopes of getting said response at the Estadio Valverde tomorrow evening. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would be an absolute honor, a pleasure, even a privilege to welcome you to the community on our road to 500 subscribers. It does help push the channel out to all of the new people out there on YouTube that could ever possibly be. And of course, I want to know what you're thinking in that comments section down below. Is Arsenal going to win? Is it going to be really, really tough? Are we going to suck? Is it going to be like it has been? Or are we going to improve? What are you thinking? And I, of course, want your score predictions down below as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I am not feeling great about this one, about the fact that we have not put together any kind of a good performance in the last two games. Yes, the squad was rotated. Yes, it was Frankenstein versus Southampton. But the mentality is really where I'm struggling. I'm questioning right now because it's down in the dumps. We are down in the dumps, that's for sure. Going out of the FA Cup to Southampton was abysmal, was embarrassing, was disgraceful, and it's all on Arteta. And so Arteta needs to, one hell of a win, one for the Gipper this week. Honestly, I don't I expect the same approach from Arteta. I don't expect him to switch up his the way he approaches things, the way he's going to approach this. So my first knee-jerk reaction is that this is going to be another nervy, boring, trying to keep control kind of game where we, the whole remit is just don't concede and we'll beat them at the Emirates. That's kind of the attitude I expect from Arteta because that's what's gone before. But I really would hope that we come out and destroy them and really put the tie to bed. But I don't expect that. We arrive in Lisbon battered by the trophy double exit, of course. Who knows who's going to play? Sporting are near the top of the table. Crazy comeback versus what's up, Lumen? Thanks for being here. Hope you're well. Crazy comeback versus the Bozo Gimps. And, we should win. We should win. So I've got the name of the stadium wrong. That's funny. Let's edit that right quick. We should win, but it's going to be very, very, very tough. Al Valade is the name of the stadium. Got that way wrong in my banner. There it is. But yeah, it's I'm a little bit worried about this one. This could be very tough. This could be another spot where this April curse Arsenal seems to have could rear its ugly head and give a really, really difficult game. It's all going to come down to me to who is available, who's fit, and where our mentality is after two cup exits. That's where this game will be won and lost. Would you expect Arteta to go out for a win or be a little cautious and take the tie to the Emirates? He's going to be cautious. Unfortunately, I think that he's going to, stick with what he knows, stick with what he thinks we are best at. And so I think he's going to be cautious, unfortunately. Personally, I want to go out and win 4-0, but we don't do that. That's just not Arteta. His strategy is not, come into the game like a house on fire and then, make subs and try to supplement near the end. His strategy is come into the game, make sure we're tight, compact, and don't get scored on, and then, maybe unleash the beast when we need to at the end of the game. That's where his head is. And I think it's leading him in a very dark direction, unfortunately. And I think that as far as morale is concerned, as far as the dynamic around the team is concerned, as far as the situation is concerned, we need to go in and smash them. The narrative for Victor Gyökeres to go back to his home stadium and light it up, where he scored 97 goals over 2 seasons, I think needs, I think that's the one we need to lean into. I think that, normally away from home in the Champions League, we, at least in the group stage, we pressed really high, we caused turnovers, and we were clinical in the other way, like the Inter Milan game, for example. And I think we need to do that again. However, do I think Arteta is going to prioritize that sort of a game? No, I don't. I don't think he's going to change anything. He's stubborn. He's set in his ways, and I think his belief in the Champions League will forever be we can win at home. And thus, it's reflected, that mentality has been reflected in every knockout stage away game we've played. If you look back, that attitude is there. Even against Leverkusen, we kept it tight, and it was the 1-1 draw away from home. I don't like that approach personally. I think it's time. Damn the torpedoes, unleash everything, go for it. Because not doing that has gotten us knocked out of the last 2 cups. Not trying to be at our best and trying to mitigate against the other team's best is what's knocked us out of the cups, honestly. And so I think that we have to come out with a lot of energy, with a lot of passion, with the desire and dynamic that shows that the players and the manager are aware of where the fan base is right now, because we're worried. If we'd have beat Southampton, there'd be no worry about this game. I'd be very confident. I'd be very, if we'd have put in a good performance at least. But we didn't. We had a shocking performance, and the morale's in the pits right now, which is fucking crazy to me that Arteta allowed this to happen. And allowed us to be in this dynamic. Like, it's all on him. It's all on him. And he's going to have to figure something out to turn it around. For me, it's all about how our mentality is going to shape up in this game. How can Arteta recover the mental, kind of mindset that we can and will go on and win this game, and can and will go on and win this competition, because I just doesn't look like the belief is there. From Arteta. Like, his priorities were crazy versus I'm still baffled, and so that leaves me in a position where I'm not really sure what we're going to see. They're on a 3-game winning streak domestically. The last time Sporting lost was to Bodo Glimt in Norway. I don't think the 2024 match where we destroyed them in the group stage, I don't think that really matters. I don't think that's all that relevant, but I think that Sporting has the momentum in this one, and they're going to be up for it. They're going to look at the fact that we have gone out of 2 cups back to back, and we haven't played well in either game. I think they're going to be absolutely up for this, and it is going to be a very tough night. Of course, Marino's out. Eberechi Eze still out. But the rest of the team, I'm not sure about. This is time of this recording is before the presser from Mikel Arteta, so I'm not certain about injuries, about doubts, about who's fit. And the whole point of not playing the game, not playing Rice and Saka versus Southampton, was to make sure that they were available for this game. And so if they're not, if they're not 100% for this game, it's really, really, really gonna piss me off that that we did all the him hawing in the international break and they're not even available. Like what was the point if they're not even going to be available for the biggest game of the season? The biggest game of our season now. It's massive. This is absolutely flipping massive. And the fact that there's so much doubt and confusion and mystery around the injuries is leaving us in even less confidence going into this game. So the lineup, I have no idea. I don't have a single clue. But what I want to see is as strong as we can go. I would hope to see Timber back. I would hope to see Saliba back. I don't know, what the situation is with Gabriel's knee. That was just another blow in the Southampton game, so we definitely need him. And I would start Calafiori. I don't know. Trincao on that right-hand side is going to be difficult to deal with. So I might start Nkapie, actually. One of the two, depending on who's fit. So yeah, you might start Nkapie. I think the defensive stability is going to be very important, especially if Gabriel's not 100% fit. So I might start Nkapie just because Calafiori likes to roam around and do craziness and is not necessarily always in the best position to defend against counters, which is what the dynamic of this game you would expect to be. I mean, in the Bodo game, Sporting, I actually watched that one. Sporting were all over them right from the off. And so I might be a little bit surprised to see that. But if they do that, I think it'll suit us. I think it'll suit us if it just becomes they have all the possession and we sit in counter. I definitely think that would suit us. And we would be just fine in that situation. And then it'll be like the opposite dynamic at the Emirates. But if it does become a shootout where they're defending a little bit deeper and they're hitting on the break, I think we might be in trouble. I think we, especially with Rice not 100%, Gabriel not 100%, apparently Saliba with the ankle not 100%, Timber coming off an injury, like this is why I think Arteta might be cautious. He might be cautious because he understands that if we really go balls to the wall, they can really hurt us on the counterattack. And so with the speed, and that's, if that's the dynamic of the game, I think Arteta will try to keep it controlled, try to keep it slow, try to keep it methodical so that we don't give up those counterattacks. I think that's probably the most likely dynamic of the game, but it's all going to come down to who is in the team. We desperately need Declan Rice to play in this game. We desperately, desperately, desperately need Declan Rice to play in this game. Of course, Zubamendi as well. Martin Odegaard will be in there. And then Gyökeres has to start. That's a no-brainer. Saka has to start. That's a no-brainer. And I guess if Trossard's fit, he plays. Martinelli is normally gets the start in the Champions League, Gabriel Martinelli, but my God, he's been awful of late. He was okay, I guess, against Southampton, but there's just been no end product. There's just no end product from him. He needs to take on his man more. There's been a little bit too slow from him at times. I just I don't know, man. Either one, I guess it doesn't matter because Trossard hasn't really been up, to his best work this season. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Martinelli, Trossard, whatever. Just don't play Madueke over there. Whatever you do, I don't want to see Madueke on the left. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing on the Sporting side as far as injuries are concerned, if Quinda's not in there, that's a huge boost for us. He's one of their best players this season. And that would be a huge miss for them if he doesn't play. It says he's a doubt here. But yeah, I think that Sporting are going to play just like Southampton did, honestly, is how I expect it to go. But if they do try to control the game and try to put it on us like they did versus Bodo Glimt, I'll be pleasantly surprised with that, because I think it will be advantageous to us. It'll be an interesting dynamic. I don't think many people expect Arsenal to sit and counter. But if early on Lisbon show that they want to possess and want to control and want to try to do what they did to Bodo Glimt, then it'll be a very, very interesting match, and I think it'll suit us. And it'll be back and forth, kind of a shootout kind of game. And I think honestly, that's Sporting's best from their point of view. That's their best, approach. But I don't think that's what we'll see, to be honest with you. I think they're going to give us more respect in that regard. But who knows? Maybe they will have the mindset that they have to win at home, and so they might actually bring it. And it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see big matchups in this one. Of course, Trincao on the right-hand side. It'll be very interesting to see, especially if Ricardo Calafiori starts on the left and goes on walkabouts like he does and is just all over the place. Trincao in behind him in that space versus Gabriel on that bum knee is going to be a huge, huge matchup. And that's why I think maybe Hincapié should start, so that we can keep the defensive discipline versus their speedy wingers. And then again, of course, Suarez versus Saliba and Gabriel is going to be huge. He's the Gyökeres replacement that's lighting it up, and so we're going to have to definitely keep an eye on him. And it'll be very interesting to see how high Sporting press, how committed they are to trying to win the ball high up the pitch versus how we play through the lines. And if I think Odegaard helped us a bit in playing through the lines versus Southampton, and we sorely missed that kind of a dynamic versus Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. So Martin Odegaard is going to have a massive, massive, massive role in this game. And of course, Victor Gyökeres up against the center backs. He might be our kind of our ace in the hole, kind of our, get out of jail here. If the dynamic isn't as, is like I expect, Gyökeres is our X factor. What's up? Pay. I'll call you Pay. There you go. You're right. We do have nothing to lose. We do have nothing to lose now. Absolutely. We have to go for it, in my opinion. I'm not sure we will. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you comment every time. Of course. I'm not sure we will have this attitude where it's we have nothing to lose. That's just not Arteta's style, really. But I agree. In my opinion, I think we should send it full send and try to destroy them. But I want to do that to every team. So, what do I know? I think that this is going to be a tough game. It's just going to be a tough tie. I think we got the easier side of the bracket, get the easiest. All that's done. That's gone now. And the narrative around that's gone too, because we had the easiest tie. We had, an easier tie in the FA Cup, and we shit the bed. So the whole, Arsenal have to win because they won the group stage and we're better and we have look better on paper. That's bullshit. All of that is out the window. That's just out the window completely. So I expect, that we're going to play for a draw. We're going to make it nasty and stinky and try to come back to the Emirates to get the win. I think that the environment, the noise from the crowd, the home fans are going to be way up for it. It's going to be rocking. They are in a much better place mentally than we are. And so, we have to kind of break this April fragility curse that's kind of upon us, because, the season is in danger of derailment, with a reverse here versus Sport. If we go out in the that could be horrendous. If we go out of the Champions League and then have to go to the Etihad, season's teetering, guys. Season is on a knife edge here. And I think we absolutely have to have a huge performance in this game. I think it's so important for mentality. If we have a shitty performance and don't get a good result, the next even Bournemouth are going to give us a game. I know they are. It's going to be tough. That Bournemouth game is going to be very, very tough. And if we don't go into that game off the back of a good performance, at least an acceptable performance that we are definitely confident of going through in the next round because we played so well in the first leg, then Bournemouth is going to be really, really difficult. I think the rest of the season is going to be very, very difficult. And if we don't turn it around right now, it could be dark. It could be really, really, really dark. So in the Champions League this season, we have done well, of course. 2.6 goals per game, only half a goal conceded per game. We're doing really well, but the knockout stages are a whole different thing, man. Whole different thing. Sporting are outperforming their XG like crazy. So the numbers on that not necessarily indicative of how this will go. Sporting's, they're finishing well. They're really finishing well, and they don't need a whole lot of chances. Of course, they created a ton of chances versus Bodo, and it won't be the same as far as the volume. They created 32 shots, 38 shots or something versus Bodo. So we know if they want to put it on us, they want to play through the lines, and they want to try to, really go at it, they can. So it'll be very interesting to see. What's up, Charles? I can't wrap my head around, did Arteta sacrifice cups considering we are stretched thin? Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? It's disgusting. It's disgusting to think that, but the proof's in the pudding. Proof's in the pudding, man. And so now the chickens have come home to roost, as they say, and you absolutely, unequivocally have put us in a spot where you have to win. He's put us in a spot where we're backs against the wall now. His back's against the wall. Arteta's back is against the wall because 2 weeks ago, before the final, things were rosy, things were looking great, everything was going well. We had our first opportunity at a trophy in 6 years, and now 2.5 weeks on, there are conversations about Arteta's job. There are conversations about, dude, win or you're gone. 2 weeks ago, we were on for a quad, and now the conversation is win or you're fired. Win or you have to get out of the club. Like, how did you let that happen? And he let that happen, Charles. He's let that happen. That's on Arteta. From about to go for a quad to your job's on the line, homie. That's where this is. That's 100% what's happening. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. And honestly, it's a little bit disgusting. It's a little bit disgusting. I always said about Arteta that I thought he could win trophies, he could win the league eventually. Eventually is what I said in times gone past where I thought that, when conversations about Arteta's job, were the prevailing thing of the day, I thought, eventually he could get there. And I thought that this season eventually had come. But he just can't get it over the line, man. He just can't get it over. He's really, really struggling to take that next step, and it's worrying. It's very worrying. It would be a monumental F up if the league compromised form here. Losing to more capable team in the Champions League is digestible, but losing out City, it will send ripples across the FMA management. We're at a turning point with this club. Arsenal are at a turning point. If the nightmarish reality that seems to be trying to peek its ugly head over the horizon, that we don't win anything this season and we bottle the league, because that's what it will be if we don't win the league. It'll be an absolute bottle job, worse than we've ever done before. He's got to go, and we'll be in disarray. honestly, as much as, I think that Arteta still has some improvement. If he gets fired, like if he doesn't win anything and gets fired, the whole project is going to take a huge step backwards, unfortunately. Because I don't think a new manager just comes in next season, changes a whole bunch of stuff, and we dominate and we're dominant again. I think there'll be a drop off if Arteta goes. And I think that's a very, 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 very dark proposition, but it's becoming more and more likely. I think we're still going to go on and win the league, honestly. But the chink in the armor is there. The cracks are there. They're exploitable. Sporting is miles better than Southampton. And they're going to play the same way, in my opinion. I think they're going to do the same things, but they're going to do it far better. And so it's going to be difficult. It's going to be absolutely incredibly difficult. And it's all on Arteta, man. It's all on Arteta. He's made the decisions that have put himself in this place. And the rest of the season will be legacy defining, I think. I honestly think that if he doesn't win the league this season, his managerial career will have a massive black mark on it, and it'll be tough, especially if he goes. He should go if he doesn't win. And then, I don't think another high-profile team, definitely not a team higher profile than ours, will go for him. Knowing that he's a second place guy, he's an almost man, and he himself has to destroy those narratives. He himself has to get the response from the team, has to show the tactical nous, the tactical dominance over the teams we play. And the only way he's going to do that is to take far more risk than he has. He's just going to have to stop being afraid. If you're afraid to lose, you're never going to win. I feel Arteta's not cursed, but the club is cursed when it comes to major honors. If Arteta goes, it's going to get dark with anyone except one or two certain profiles like him. Maybe if we get Enrique in, it won't be as bad, but it'll still take time. There'll still be a time delay as far as getting back to being as best as we can be with this group of players. No matter who comes in next, even if Zidane came in next, it'd still be a time delay, and we'll have a small drop off. And who knows? Who knows what that will mean? Chelsea aren't going to be doing much, but Liverpool might bounce back if Xabi Alonso comes in. If Pep stays, he might be able to obviously put together, an even better team. They're looking resurgent already, so I don't know. It's on a knife edge. The whole project for me is on a knife edge. This whole 6 years is on a knife edge because it could all come crashing down with and that's kind of the cloud that's hanging over the team right now. And the only thing that can pull us out of that is if Arteta says, you know what, screw being scared, screw the I'm done with it. Let's destroy Sporting. I think only like a 4-0 will really be able to keep the demons at bay and up the morale. Only a huge, massive performance that really shows the awareness of just how close we are to abject and utter ruin. But we're also very, very close to glory. And it's always amazing what a tightrope that is, what a fine tightrope that is to walk, and Arteta has fallen at every point in his career so far. Now's the time. It's now or never. And I think that, that's the mentality. That is the mentality. But as far as the game goes, I think it is all going to hinge on how fit Rice is and how well we finish. We will get chances. And I hope that if we really try to put it on him, put it on them, I think Gyökeres will show up, and I think that we, can definitely win this game and go back to the Emirates with a very comfortable 2-0, maybe 3-1, something like that. I'm not going to discount their counterattack because that is where their prowess is strongest. But honestly, what I actually think is going to happen is that we're going to stink it out. That's what I think it is. We're just going to, the whole remit will be don't concede. And I'm not sure that, it just feels so bad, man. Yeah, the morale is down. The morale's in the shitter. The team morale is in the absolute shitter. The morale of the fan base is even lower. And that's why we need a huge response. That's why we need a massive response. And it's on Mikel. This is his job. Manager. You need to manage this situation. You need to manage this situation. Yeah, City are looking scary right now, Charles. I didn't really want to be the one to say it, but the game versus both of their last two games, the Carabao Cup final and the Liverpool game, have gone the exact same way. They came out and let their opponents kind of do what they were going to do, and then they figured it out, and then they decimated us both. That's what happened. Liverpool were shit, yeah, but Man City were fantastic in that game, and it's a little bit scary. It is a little bit scary. They're going to destroy Chelsea. They're going to absolutely maul Chelsea in the league. So that's not, that's not something we can be putting our, counting on Chelsea to do anything for us. And the way things are going, I said it a couple of months ago before we got this cushion that the league was going to come down to the Etihad. And, I think our best hope of maintaining our pace and our morale and our, drive to win the league, it will be not losing that game. Not losing that game. And what scares me the most about this team is Arteta's mentality. At some point, you have to switch from game management and not losing to we're better than you. We're going to wipe the floor with you today. At some point, the switch has to flip. At some point, you just have to put it all on the table and say, look, here's our best. Do your worst. And I don't think that we've had that mentality yet. Game management just isn't going to work. Game management just isn't going to work anymore. Sporting is morale up and injuries stopped cursing us, but we don't have a key player. We do have a key player. What do you mean? Arsenal definitely have a key player. It's Victor Gyökeres. It's Victor Gyökeres. 5 goals in 3 games. Yeah, it's Gyökeres, of course. I find it weird that after L's, we have strong runs this season, but after Carabao, we start like that for Southampton. Southampton played nothing new. It was the mentality, Charles. The Southampton game is on Arteta. It was arrogant. It was just arrogance incarnate. He underestimated Southampton and overestimated the likes of Ben White, overestimated the likes of Gabby Jesus, overestimated the likes of Kai Havertz. It's on Arteta. He was arrogant, and it was disgusting. It was a disgusting arrogance. I said it in my preview. I said it in the preview. We cannot take this game lightly. And what did we do? We took it lightly. And we got beat. We got punished for it. Arteta said, you guys can't handle, you guys aren't that great. Oh, okay. But hey, all right. I hear you. Wouldn't you say Luis Suarez or Trincao, your attackers are probably where you're going to find joy in this game on the counter attack? And yeah, I did see you have a couple of injuries. So It'll be interesting, but I think Sporting will be up for this, man. I think they're going to be licking their chops, seeing the way Arsenal are playing and with confidence low. If we go after, if we do what I think we're going to do, I think Sporting will have some joy, and I think as the game goes on and they realize that we're not necessarily going to try to put it on them, they'll try to put it on us in the end, and we'll be under pressure. Exactly. And here's the thing with Trincao is that if we play Calafiori, who likes to invert and end up at the right forward position next to Bukayo Saka, Trincao's going to have acres of space. Acres of space. And he's going to be running at Gabriel, who's hurt his knee. So the dynamic of the game, if we really try to possess control and slowly but surely put it on you and try to, slowly but surely huff and puff until you fall over, Trincao might have a field day. So I'm worried about that. I'm definitely worried about that, and especially since the last time Hincapié played, who would probably be a more disciplined defensively, he got wrecked. We got destroyed. He had a terrible game in the Carabao Cup final. So yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about the dynamic of this game, but really what it's going to come down to is where is Arteta's mentality? Where is the mentality? Are we going to defend and sit back and be afraid? Are we going to game manage? Are we going to go there not to lose? Because if we do, it's going to be a long day. That's going to be a long, long day. I'm really sick. I'm really, 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 really sick of this team not saying, hey, we're better than you and we're going to destroy you today. Straight up. I'm really sick of it. There's 12 games left in the season. If we make the Champions League final, there's 12 games left. 12. Not 25. 12. Why did we buy all these players in the summer? Did you not manage the squad properly, Arteta? Like, is that what you've done? You just didn't manage it properly? It's all on Arteta, man. It's all on Arteta. And if he doesn't bring the mentality that we're better than you and we know it, and so we're going to come here and crush you, where it's going to be tough, I really can't stand the game management shit anymore. It's time, man. Release the handbrake and damn the torpedoes. That's what time it is. That's what time it is. It's time to go out there and prove that you're an elite manager. Because right now, it's in the balance. Right now, it's in the balance. Very much so. And we are 100% going to have to pick ourselves up, try to have a short memory, goldfish style, and really get up for this game. Because the crowd's going to be up for it. It's going to be a crazy Champions League night. Lots of energy, lots of passion from the fans. Going to be a hostile environment. Going to be very, and we don't always do great in hostile away grounds in Champions League knockout games. So we're going to have to be right on it, very focused, and it's all up here. It's all about the mentality that Arteta has in this game, because that definitely shows on the pitch. Mentality is top down. It's top down. And so when you send a lineup out there versus Southampton, it tells the team that you think you're just going to wipe the floor with them. You think you're just going to absolutely decimate them. And so you don't have to really show up and be on your P's and Q's. And that's why we lost. And that's why we lost. And so if we don't, I don't know. The Southampton thing is still, or it just still burns me up because it was arrogant. It just utter arrogance. And after getting slapped in the face when you're being an arrogant prick like that, I don't know what his mentality is going to be going into this game. But it's all on Arteta. It's all on Arteta now. If you continue to show that you're a pussy, that you're scared, because that's what it is. I'm done sugarcoating it. I'm done sugarcoating it, man. I'm done. I back him. I think Arteta's done a whole heap of amazing things for this club. And I'm very incredibly, eternally grateful for him bringing us back to competing. But we are on the most important fronts. But we don't have this mentality ever. We don't ever have this mentality. And if you never have that mentality, when are you going to beat people? When are you going to get it over the line if you never have the mentality that we need to destroy people? Game management does not win titles. Fear does not win the Champions League. I've not heard any injury updates. The biggest one I'm worried about is Gabriel Magalhaes. Obviously, we're recording here before Arteta gives the presser. It's probably going to be soon, to be honest with you, actually. But I haven't heard any more updates. I'm just begging Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka to be ready to go 100%. Yeah, as far as the mentality goes, and it's not unnecessary pressure because the pressure's there. The pressure's on. Arteta has brought the pressure onto us. Massively brought the pressure onto us. This bigger fish to fry attitude and just throwing the cups is what's gotten him in this position to where if you don't win, you're fired. If you don't win, you need to resign in shame. That mentality of throwing cups, his whole Arsenal coaching career is why he's in the position of if you shit the bed, you're gone. He wouldn't be in this position if he had a we need to crush mentality far more often. He wouldn't be in this position where his ass is on the line because we would have won trophies by now. If he hadn't have thrown the cups, if he hadn't have thrown the effing Europa League versus Lisbon the last time we were in the Europa League, perhaps we would have gone on to win that tournament. But instead, we give up a half-field goal and we blame it on Rob Holding. Bullshit, man. It's because Arteta's mentality has been way too small. It's been, I'm scared. I'm scared to lose. Well, bro, now you're scared for your job because you've been scared to lose for 6 years. That shit needs to end. That shit needs to be in the fucking bin. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the we are going to game management our way through this mentality. It's bullshit. It's just not going to get the title over the line. If you want to do something you've never done, you have to, if you want to win something and get a result you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And so being scared, which infects the whole team, is the wrong approach. If you're scared to die, you will never live. And until Arteta embraces that, it's going to be dicey. It's going to be nervy, and there's going to be no certainty for the rest of the season. And it's just going to be nervous and even more nervous. And that's on Arteta. That is on Mikel Arteta. So it's in the balance. It's absolutely in the balance, and we need a massive bounce back, and we need to show an awareness that that's how close it is. The whole project, this last 6 years, it's all on a knife edge. It's all on a knife edge. And Arteta needs to prove to himself, to the team, and to the fan base that he's the one to take us into the promised land, because he has not proven that yet. He has not proven that yet. And so we need a massive response. And I need an awareness that that's the dynamic around the manager, around the club, and around our chances to win trophies this season. I need an awareness of that versus Sporting. Because if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to get what we always got. Second place and bottler's tag. Keep doing what you've always done, Mikel Arteta, and your legacy will be that of almost. For the Sporting game, at minimum, one of our players will be pumped and will give his best. That is for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping Victor Gyökeres can be the guy to carry us through. He can be the guy to save Arteta's ass. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. After we drew 0-0 to Liverpool early in the season, I was furious. And I said Arteta out. I wanted him to go because I didn't think that he had the cojones, the balls, the minerals to actually try and go win games. I was so sick of the game management shit, and I backed off of it because we've had a good season since then. I've backed off of that because we've had a decent season since then, a very good season, in fact. But now's the time, man. Now's the time. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be very interesting. Gyökeres versus former teammates is going to be very, very interesting. And I think that is going to be, for Arsenal, the key matchup. To be key matchup is getting Gyökeres chances. Hopefully he can score. And that's going to be very, very, very vital to our success and or failure in this matchup. But yeah, that has been the preview. I desperately, desperately need a response from the Arsenal, from Mikel Arteta. So go ahead and smash up the likes for this one. It's definitely going to be a very, very good game tomorrow. At least I'm hoping it will be for the Gunners, of course. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I do appreciate everyone that's been here today. It does help the channel get pushed to new viewers on this platform. Of course, like, share, and subscribe, all that stuff. You know the deal. And of course, get the notification bell on so you know when we're live. We will be doing the watch along tomorrow, of course. And then we will be back on Wednesday night after all the Champions League drama for your regularly scheduled program, the Cup Chasers podcast with Nez and Asif. So once again, I do thank you for being here and tuning in to this one. And you will see me next time.